Welcome back to the channel, guys. If this is your first time watching, my name's Matt, and this here is the engine I pulled out of my excavator a week ago. And the goal of this video is to give it a once over and see if it's in good shape or not. I think it is, but we'll find out. Feeling a lot more relieved this week because number one, I got all my firewood done. That's like 2.5 years caught up with, so we're all good there. And number two, I got my shop cleaned out. I can actually find my tools now. I swept it out. I could even get the car out if I wanted to, but that's a whole nother can of worms. Also got my crimping machine in. It's addressed to Mr. Matt. We'll get to that on another video. Anyway, let's go ahead and pressure wash this thing. Got all the inlets and outlets blocked off last week, but I was taking a closer look at things. Well, first I should take the alternator off. They don't really usually like to be pressure washed. This motor mount, I think that one's done. So might as well pull it off now so I can wash it better. I'll have to order new ones. Yeah, this one's on its way out too. You can see it right there. It's cracking. It's kind of splitting off. I do have a new water pump, so all this is going to come off anyway. A little bit of rust. We need the impact for that one. There we go. Oh, wrong way. I think we're ready to wash now. I just noticed this thing that goes up into this, some kind of crankcase vent. I don't know what that's about. There was nothing hooked on here, so don't know what that's for. Probably not important. Just to show my washing setup here, so I got the pressure washer over there, and on all of my external bibs here for the barn, I have like a shower valve, so I can select between hot and cold. So we'll set this to hot. That's already on. Oops. I've used hot water with a pressure washer a lot. Never caused a problem and hasn't burned through any seals or anything. Been a while since I've done this. I think this goes on here. And this goes. Drain out here. Okay, well, it looks still really dirty, but it's much cleaner. The big grease is all gone though. So I'll let this dry and then get into it tomorrow. Yeah. That doesn't look, it really doesn't look good. There's a lot of crud in here. Looks like a fair amount of water in there. A lot of rust inside there I can see. Probably a sign that this is going to be full of water. Nothing's coming out. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's definitely water. It's probably not good. This is all water. So this whole thing was water, and then the water was getting into the other filter. Yeah. Is this just water coming out of here? It smells like rotten diesel, if that counts. Yeah, it's diesel. This is just a 50-50 mix of ATF and acetone. Works a lot better than most rust breakers. You just got to keep it in a glass bottle, but it's free, mostly. This is apparently a non-metric thread. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, it's gonna break. I really don't want to break a stud off. Hey, it's working. Okay. All right, got more of these. I know I said they were imperial. They're probably actually metric, like 13 millimeter, but the thing is, look how much that play there is on there versus a 1/2 inch. So I think it makes a lot more sense to use the 1/2 inch, even if they are metric. Didn't even realize this was an exhaust bolt, but that one came off pretty easy, so maybe this will be good. Nice. Oh yeah, coming right off. Bunch of water gonna come out of here when I do this. Nope. Uh-oh. Is the thermostat missing in here? No thermostat in here. That's not a good sign. I think that plugged radiator might be coming back to bite everybody. It's still wet. Oof. That one looks better. I think these are another strainer on this line. And it's stuck. Well, this pipe has actually a lot of damage to it. It's bent. It looks like it's been resoldered right here, and then it's like dented in right here. I can't get it loose down here, so I'll just take it off here. That doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and measure all the valve clearances before I take them off, just to get a kind of a baseline. Yeah, this one's already closed. It's about 0.3 millimeter. That's about right, 0.65. And this is exhaust. Okay, so I'll kind of just record it here. Already got it for cylinder 1, 35 for intake, 65 for exhaust. Unfortunately, over the weekend, Charlie started to develop a little hot spot on her leg, so I went out and bought a little cone of shame for her. It really, she's really not happy about it. It's kind of depressed, but sorry, dog. I got the manual right here, so the intake and exhaust should be at 0.4 millimeters cold. So, you know, 0.35 to 0.65, you take the average of that, and it's... All right, so we had 0.35, well, I'll just say 35, 65, 30 and 60, 28 and 65, and 40 and 50. So cylinder 4 was actually pretty good. The rest are off by a bit. Oh, missed one. Running low on batteries. That was easy. Well, head gasket looks okay-ish. Okay, well, cylinder number 4 looks a little bit different, and there's also some buildup on it. If this just comes off. Yeah, I think this is just buildup. It looked like it was almost rust, but it's just buildup, I think. So cylinders 2 and 3 look pretty good. You can still see the cross hatching in there. And no real scratches or anything. So I think those are good. And then let's look at 1 and 4 real quick. Number 1, and I saw it on the bore scope, there was a little bit of a vertical scratch right there. It's actually really a mark. It's really, yeah, I can't feel with a fingernail. I think we're okay there. Over here on the cylinder head, I don't really see anything bad here. This looks okay. The only thing to really note is cylinder 4, the piston had the same kind of more brownish carbon buildup on it. I don't know, I'm guessing that's just some difference with the injector, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. This alternator bracket's been fixed before. Actually looks pretty decent though. Get the Dexter sheet out here. Uh-oh. There it is. Looks like I missed a few spots with the pressure washer. There's a little bit of sludge in here, but no metal or anything. I just flipped it back around and this thing fell out. Something that's broken off. Probably not ideal. All right. What does this go to? The piece is off of this tray right here. And there's actually another chunk. You can see that missing. You see that? So that's not good. And this whole thing is cracked. This is a crack that runs up on here. So something hit this really hard. I mean, it would have to be, I think it would have to be like right here. Okay. It's been a couple days. I'm still concerned about the oil pan striking issue. I was going to just check one or two of the main bearings, but I think I'm going to check the first one, the middle one, and the last one, just to make sure there's not some kind of weird issue going on with like the crankshaft being warped or something like that. So if I check the wear on all those bearings, if they're all equal wear, then I should be good. But first, let's start with the end play. Check that real quick. All right, let's see. At 0, that's right at 10 thou. All right, manual has end play 6 to 13 thou standard, and then the limit 16. So we're doing great there. That's like still perfectly right in the middle. There we go. That's the crank look. Crank looks good. Yeah, that one's like mirror polish right there in that spot, and then it's smoother. All right, let's take a closer look at these bearings with a better camera. So this is number 1. Okay, so there's number 1. There's the center one. Kind of the same, somewhat the same wear pattern. Kind of a shiny spot right there. Okay, so the clearance spec here is 1.5 thou to 3.8 thou with a limit at 4.3. And at plastic gauge here we got, this is 1 to 3 thou, and then the red is 2 to 6. So I'll probably just go ahead and use a red. I'm sure it's way over that, the 1.5. If you've never used this before, it's so simple I don't even have to explain it. I'll just show it. Okay, torque spec is 173.5 foot-pounds, plus or minus like 17, which is good because this torque wrench is not accurate, I'm sure. Pittsburgh. There we go. Poor Charlie. Charlie! Come here. Come here. All right. Turn it off just for a minute. Here you go. All right, now to take it back off. Okay, so if you've never seen it before, it basically crushes, and it's like a very controlled thickness of the whatever it is, wax or plastic. And so depending on how flat it is, you know how much it's been crushed, and that tells you your clearance. So it looks like we're just over 3 thou. So a little bit over 3 thousandths. Clear this off. It's bigger than the 3 thou, so it's into the 2 thou range, which is good. That's even better. It's within the range. Okay, so for the other two, I'm going to use the green just to get a more accurate reading since I know it's less than 3. Charlie, you're not biting the bad spot, are you? Okay. It's thin here. So 0.003. I don't know if you can see that. It looks pretty even wear all the way down. And here, yep, like right at 0.3, or I'm sorry, 3 thou, right there. So all 3 bearings have the same amount of wear. It's right around 3 thou, which is perfect. I'm not going to worry about the crank being bent or anything like that since they're all worn the same pretty much. Look at that in a second. Just bearing out. Take a look at these. These journals actually look really good. Every single journal. There was a tiny scratch on this main one, the middle one, but it's not like it's not a raised edge or anything. Plastic gauge it on both sides because I think the bottom side is going to be more worn. We'll see. Easy. There we go. These caps are all marked too, so it's really no way you can put this together wrong. Of course I say that, but I actually had the rod cap on backwards for a second there. Didn't tighten it down though. Okay, torque spec is 28.9. And then you're supposed to do another 60 degrees plus 30 minus 0. So I think that means 60 to 90 degrees. Okay. Looks like I got moved a little bit because I had the rod backwards, but I think that's the correct spot. A little under 3 thou there. So I can do this without scratching the journal. Might not be able to get that one back. It's actually quite a bit wider there. So that's closer to, I can't really get my hand in there, but that's closer to about 1.5 thou. Okay, so the spec for this is 1.2 thou to about 3 thou. That's the service limit. And we were just over 2 thou, I think, or was it 3? I don't remember. Anyway, I think on the most worn spot on these things, we're kind of at spec. So, I mean, that's expected. The wear, I mean, there's kind of a big shiny spot there, but the wear is okay, I think. It's smooth all the way through. There's not any spots where it's like broken on both of these. Let me get in there. The one thing I did notice is, I think this is the cap side, is there's that little hot spot there. And there's a corresponding hot spot right there. I think that's just from a piece of dirt being stuck there. That surface is smooth. I can't feel anything. So I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe just a piece of dirt doing assembly. So anyway, I'm going to put this back in. I think I have a plan. We'll talk about it at the end of the video and what to do here. Don't think it buys me anything to remove the injection pump. It doesn't leak as far as I know. And the engine does run well, so I'll just leave that be. This back here is the oil cooler, I think. And this also does not appear to be leaking. So I think I'll just leave that. I don't have any other issues or concerns with the oiling system. Okay, we'll check cylinder liner projection, which is how much these liners stick out. It's 0.04, what is... Okay, let's check the cylinder bore. This micrometer only goes up to 4 inches technically, but you can go past it, and the spec is like right over 4. Okay, so this gets me to about 4.017, maybe 1. I guess I can go, you can get more accurate, but I don't trust this thing anyways. So that's right in the middle of the spec. I'm going to go ahead and check the X and Y direction on all these and see where we're at. I did check this. This is a 3-inch test, and it is accurate. So, you know, within a fraction of a thou. So I guess we're looking good here. Oh, what? It just comes off? That makes it easy. Oh, I think it's coming off. Wow. Thing was on there. Didn't have to really take that off. Just the front seal, I think it was the front seal was leaking, so there was some goop down here. But once you pull the balancer off, you can replace the front seal, it looks like. But this all looks good. I could probably check backlash on the gears, but I don't see any issues here. Like they don't have any weird wear patterns or anything, so I'm just gonna leave it. In the last video, I did take an oil sample and I sent it in. And I checked the tracking number. They've had it for like 2.5 weeks, but I have not heard anything back. So I don't know if that's typical or what's going on. That was Blackstone Labs, but maybe I'll try Wix in the future. So I think I've taken this engine down as far as I need to go. I really haven't commentated on it much, but I guess we'll just kind of share what my plan is, what my thoughts are, and everything I've kind of noticed on it. But in general, I think this engine is in really good shape. I mean, it's been worn, but it's in really good condition. I was kind of worried when I pulled the radiator off. I'll show a picture of it. It was completely plugged, and then when I got to the thermostat, it was missing, which is kind of a sign that it's been overheated a bunch. But I didn't really see any evidence of that. Pistons all look really good. There's still cross hatching on all the bores, and they're all within spec. So that all looked really good. Didn't really find anything too bad on the top end parts. The biggest thing I think was the injection system. The water separator was completely full of water, and then water had been overfilling that and getting into the filter. And there was a lot of gunk, but I think the filter caught all of it. There wasn't anything in the lines. There wasn't anything like, coming out of there. There was stuff in the plunger, like the primer, but I think this goes into the filter. So I'll probably take this off and clean it. But I think the injection system, once I clean it, kind of clean all the lines out and make sure they're all really, really good, then it should be fine. And by the way, the injectors are at a shop right now getting tested and cleaned and rebuilt, whatever they need. They're there right now. On the bottom end, I think still the big mystery on this thing is what happened to the oil pan. It's kind of like, it would be one thing if it was on some old Chevy that I'd found, with 500 different mods, but this engine seemed pretty clean. I'm not sure what caused this big crack and the strike over here. If maybe the crack started and it started vibrating and it went up and hit the crank, or what happened, but I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna try to spot weld this and repair it. I mean, it's really not that bad. I think it's repairable. I didn't see any damage on the crank though, or any other damage besides that one large piece. And I'm assuming the other small piece that's missing went through the drain pan. I don't see any other damage anywhere in the engine. You may notice the cylinder head's not here anymore. That's off at my machine shop. For cylinder heads, I like spare no expense. I have them redo all the valves, clean it, check everything out on it. It's usually worth it. So they'll get back to me if they found anything, but I seriously doubt they will. Turbocharger, I have a new core for that. This is a very Chinese core, but we'll see how it goes. I don't think this thing's spinning super crazy fast. I actually have a lot of other parts here. I got a new water pump, belts, thermostat, radiator hoses. This is a pump coupler. And then I'm ordering a seal kit for all the gaskets and front and rear seal. I did check all these push rods. They were all straight, all within spec. In fact, everything I've checked on this engine was all within spec, even the worn bearings. And let's talk about that real quick. So the mains were definitely worn, and then the rods were worn even more than that. But you expect them to be worn. This engine is like a high hour engine. And obviously taking on and off the caps and all that kind of messes the bearings up. I think it throws their crush off. So, and I'm already at this point, I might as well just replace all the bearings. I'm gonna order obviously OEM for this, and I have a source for that from Isuzu or Mitsubishi or whatever, whoever owns them, to get all those replaced. All the journals I looked at on the crank looked really good. In fact, they're so good, I'm not even gonna mess around with trying to like smooth them up with high grit sandpaper or anything like that, because all that's gonna do is just get more grit into the engine and the oil system. So I'm just gonna leave those be and just swap in new bearings. I know someone's gonna ask the question, you know, since it's down this far, why not just take it all the way apart, replace the liners and the pistons and all that stuff? And really, there's a huge cost associated with that, both in time and money. To get the genuine Isuzu parts, new liners, pistons, seal kit, bearings, it's like $1,000+ I could go with a cheaper Chinese route, but then I'm just pulling out good parts and putting in crappy parts. And also just the time involved to take the rest way apart, there's machining costs. In my mind, it's just not worth it. I mean, everything I looked at on this engine is good, and it'll be fine. It's not like I'm taking it to the racetrack or anything. So overall, I think this is a pretty good engine. It would have been fine if I had not even messed with it, but at least I have some peace of mind. Well, it's probably clear by now, but I should mention it anyways. I am not an expert engine builder. I'm not an expert in most things. So this channel is for entertainment only. Don't do what I do and copy it and think that I know what I'm doing, because I don't. So anyway, one piece of news for the channel, and this is gonna be bad news. YouTube decided to remove my ability to turn off unskippable video ads for all the videos. I apologize for that. I've always turned those off. I don't wanna waste your guys' time. I mean, they're terrible, so I'm sorry. You know, if you're using ad block or whatever, you're still cool in my book. You're still cool in my book, all right? But yeah, just sorry about that. I try not to waste your guys' time with stuff like that. And that's kind of how I do all my videos, actually. I try to keep them as short and concise as possible. You know, remove all the really boring stuff and just show exactly what I'm doing. That's kind of my goal. But yeah, sorry about that. So that's gonna do it for the video. Thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate it. And I will be back very soon.